Hi, everyone. Today we're talking about reading the docs. So today's bite is going to be a little bit different. We're not going to teach you how to solve it. Instead, we're going to look at tools that you can use for any problem that you need to solve in the future. One of the best places to get information from is actually the Python docs. It is important that you identify which version of Python you're working on because there might be some small differences depending on which version you have. The Python documentation is really good. The only downside is that it's written by people who have lots of experience in coding. So they use very precise language, which makes it difficult to understand when you're brand new as a beginner. One resource that's a really good place to ask questions is Stack Overflow. In case you're not familiar, Stack Overflow is essentially a community based website. People ask questions, and then other people in the community answer those questions. Questions that are valued as correct or valued as good get upvoted. So, generally speaking, answers that have lots of upvotes are really good and reliable. You do have to be careful because it is community, so anybody can answer, but for the most part, this is a fantastic resource. One thing that will help you get the most out of Stack Overflow is in learning how to ask a good question. Even if you don't plan to use Stack Overflow as a main resource, I highly recommend that you come read this article. It gives you lots of good details about what makes a good question, what makes a good title for your question, and all of the steps that you should do first, including some of your own research, which we'll talk about in just a little bit. The second article that I would recommend that you read is Writing the Perfect Question, and this is by John Skeet. So, again, this is very similar, but still there's enough a little bit different that it's worth taking the time to read through this. It's about doing your own research first, identifying your point of confusion, and then asking an appropriate question. So, part of that doing your own research is what we're going to focus on next. I'm going to use Google because Google is probably the most popular search engine, but you can use whichever search engine you prefer: DuckDuckGo, Bing, Yahoo. But let's focus on Google for now. You want to find a way to include the important words. So, for example, if you're just doing something like format strings, this is probably not a great search because this will format strings in any programming language. You probably want to include the word Python in your search. And then there's lots of different things, including for me, Python docs is the first location that comes up. Let's look at a slightly different one. Let's say that we want to Google the Python Newbie challenges. And when I do this, you'll notice that the results include lots of things with the word beginner in them. Okay, but that's interesting because what I really want to do is find the newbies that are from PyBites. And so if I put this word in quotes, now you'll notice that the word newbies is highlighted. And the PyBites website, even though it's not the first item that comes back on this search list, it's now on the front page where if I didn't put the word newbies in quotation marks, it wasn't even on the first page of Google. So using quotation marks is a really nice operator when you're searching for things. Another operator that works really nicely when you're doing searches is the cite operator. So the way that this works is you do cite followed by a colon, and then you give it a website. So for example, we can do stackoverflow.com. And then if we do, I don't know, for example, string formatting in Python, you'll notice that now every single result comes from Stack Overflow. The really cool thing about this is, let's say that you've already looked through all of these answers and none of them quite answer exactly what you want. You can do the minus cite operator, and now it will give you back all of the search results for string formatting Python except from Stack Overflow. The last thing that we're going to talk about is error messages. It is a really good idea when you come up across an error message to search for it. This is from an earlier Newbie bite that we did, and if we run this code, we get an error. You can see right here, we get 0 division error. But there's a lot of other information. This information up here, such as the line number, the name of the function, and even this line of code, result equals A divided by B. If you were to copy and paste any of this information up here, it won't give you back very good results. And that's because this information is unique to my computer, to my situation. However, this line down here, 0 division error, division by 0, that is a general characteristic of this program. Any program in Python, if you attempt to divide by 0, will raise this error. So only this would be a good item to search. 0 division error, division by 0, you pop that into your search engine, and hopefully it'll give you some good results. I hope this was helpful. You've made it through 50 Newbie bites if you've made it to this point. So congratulations and good luck on today's bite.